Adam, the White Hair Master. Season 2. Episode 2. While walking on the street, Adam realized that there was someone following him. First off, he thought that was just someone walking by him coincidentally, but he assured that one was tailing him after a while of walking. After 100% sure that guy following him, Adam walked faster and turned to a small alley. He hurriedly hid at a wall to watch who was tailing him. Hearing the footstep closer, Adam suddenly stepped out. It turned out the one who has been following Adam was a girl. She was a bit surprised and stepping back. Adam bombarded her with questions: who she was and why she has been following him a long way, why she sneaked on him, why she didn't just come in front of him. Hearing those questions, the girl pulled herself together. She turned sad and told Adam she needed help. That girl was the niece of an old lady who Adam just helped recently. She had coincidentally seen Adam used his abilities at her auntie house, so she wanted to ask Adam to help her sister out. Her sister had been haunted by a ghost. She was just too shy to speak up to Adam, so she had walked after him a long way. Adam agreed to help her instantly. He was unsure if he could help with her sister's issues, but Adam told the girl that he would try his best. He asked the girl to tell him what happened to her sister. That was lunchtime already, so the girl offered Adam a lunch meal. She would tell Adam everything. And so, the two of them walked to a small restaurant nearby. After having a seat, Adam ordered a fried noodles dish. To be honest, from the moment he left his master's place, Adam had never had a proper meal. That noodles dish was the first delicious meal he had so far. Since then, how Adam could stay till. The girl had been watched him from the morning. She knew that Adam must have nothing to his stomach yet. She said that Adam could be her guest. She could hear the sound of Adam's stomach boil. In front of a girl, that was really an embarrassment. Adam didn't want to behave impolitely, but at that moment, Adam was way too hungry. He told the girl to forgive him and tell him what happened. At that moment, Adam didn't care what the girl might think about him. He focused on eating his noodles dish but still tried to hear what the girl was talking about her sister. Her sister was Fen. She had been pregnant a year earlier, but unfortunately, Fen had a miscarriage. Not sure if because of that, Fen and her husband had lots of arguments after the incident. They ended up divorced, and ever since then, Fen locked her up in the room the whole day. She didn't want to see anybody. One day, the girl had a day off. While she was in her house, she heard a knock door sound. She came to get the door. The girl was astounded that her sister came right after the door opened, but she happily asked her sister if she needed help. Fen told her that she had found a good wizard who had revived her child and brought her child back to her belly once again. Since she had been home for a long time, she didn't have money to put food on the table. She wanted the girl to lend her some money. As Fen told the girl, she felt that the baby was inside her womb. Fen assured her sister that her baby had turned back to her and growing inside her. The girl wanted to advise her sister not to believe those wizards, but Fen thought that was the really happened to her. Fen had felt the baby was moving in her womb. The girl felt that her sister didn't sober, but she didn't say anything else. She gave the girl some money and told Fen that if she needed help, just call her out. A few days later, while working at the company, her phone was ringing. That was her sister's call. Fen told her that she just gave birth to a baby and could not move around, so she needed the girl to come and bring her some food. Even though the girl was very busy with her work, she could not let her sister alone, so she submitted a day off and came to her sister's place. The girl bought a big bag of food and came to Fen's place. Once Fen went to open the door, the girl was frightened. In front of her, she has been very different from the last time the girl saw her. Fen didn't come out of the house. She just opened the door and took the food bag. The girl stared inside the house. she saw that the house was like a mess, thought of her sister might be too tired to clean the house up by herself. So the girl offered Fenna help. She wanted to come inside and clean the house up, but the sister had said no to her. Fen closed the door right after then, left the girl full of suspicion. The girl sensed that something bad must have happened. She could not imagine what could happen to her sister. She picked up the backup key and opened the door by herself. Stepping into the house, she got more frightened. Inside the house, that was really a mess, garbages scattered around the house. The most surprising to her was a baby crying sound in the bedroom. The bedroom door was a soft opening. The girl came lightly to the bedroom and pushed the door to have a closer look. There was no light on inside the room. Everything was blurry, and just like in the living room, there were garbages scattering around, with a very unpleasant smell. At the room corner, someone was sitting there, naked with white baby-like skin. When hearing the open door sound, that guy turned around. At that moment, the girl could see his face clearly. That was a very scary face. It was very pale with sharp teeth in the mouth. The scariest thing to her was what he was eating. He was holding a piece of meat tightly in his hands. He was smiling at the girl with a creepy smile. She could sense the blood stench from the meat, fresh meat full of fresh blood. That was so demonic and scary. The girl shook with fear. Her legs get soft. The girl thought that guy was like a baby, but he must have been 2 meters tall once he stood up. Too frightened to stay till the girl ran out hurriedly toward the living room and hit her sister. In her sister's hands, there was a bloody knife. She spoke up repeatedly that her son was starving, so she had to feed her son. Too scared from what she had eyewitnessed, the girl ran for her life out of the house. And then, she called the police. She was scared that her sister would hurt someone in her unconsciousness. Everything would turn to be bad. Once the police came to Fen's place, Fen and the demon baby had disappeared already. After a careful check-up, the policeman told her that there was just animal blood in the house. At that point, the girl could not hold her terror to fell out in front of Adam. She covered her mouth with her hands and cried aloud. Adam had finished his dish. From what he heard from the girl, a flash of thought had run to his head. He used a tissue to sweep his mouth, then looked at the girl. He said that he thought her sister was feeding a demon. To be more exact, that was a baby demon. Adam borrowed the girl a piece of paper and a pencil. Then, he drew lightly something very weird to the paper. After drawing, Adam asked if the girl had seen that kind of statue in her sister's house. That was a weird Buddha statue. She was sitting in a lotus, but a baby girl was sitting with the Buddha as well. Seeing Adam's drawing, the girl realized it instantly. She had seen that statue at her sister's house, which was weird enough for her to have an impression. Adam told the girl that was lost black magic. The black wizards had taken advance from women who wanted to have babies badly and sold those kinds of statues for them. That would pave the way for demons to come and sleep with the owner of the statues. Then, the woman would be pregnant with the demon's baby. The baby demon would grow very fast, and just in a week, the baby demon could give birth. Afterward, the statue's owner would be blind in front of the baby demon, until they truly believed that it was their baby and completely normal as human beings. Ever since then, they would take care of the baby demons and feed them with fresh meat and blood. The more those baby demons eat, the more they grow up and get bigger until the mother cannot feed them well. They would eat everything moving in front of them. When they grew up, they would spread out the diseases and disasters to people around. So Adam would like to stop the baby demon as soon as possible. The girl turned to worry for her sister's safety. Fen must have been taken somewhere by the baby demon. Adam started his job. He took the girl to the rooftop of a high building nearby. They could see a mountain from afar from the building. Adam pointed toward the mountain and told her that there was an old mine at the bottom of the mountain. Properly, Fen and the baby demon were there. The girl got surprised. She had been lived in the town for such a long time, but she had never heard about the mine at the bottom of the mountain, but Adam had known about that. Adam explained to her that he had stayed over that old mine one night before he came to the town. And so, the two of them walked to the mine. On the way there, they saw a girl looking for her missing dog by chance. Adam looked at the dog's photo. A hunch told him that the dog went missing must have been related to Fen and the baby demon. Then, Adam glared at people around him. He realized that people discussed the missing dogs lately. Dogs went missing, but there were also other pets in the area. They all went missing mysteriously. People were buzzing about that. They said that must have been a beast or some kind of thief. Once they reached the forest where led to the mine, Adam asked the girl to leave there and wait for news from him. He knew what the baby demon was capable of, and if the girl followed him, she might get injured. From the last time she faced the baby demon at her sister's place, the girl knew that she could not face that scary thing one more time. The girl might hold Adam back, so she agreed to get back to the town and wait for Adam news. After saying goodbye to the girl, Adam left the regular path. He came across the forest because that was the shortcut to get to the mine faster. The tough mountain road did not take Adam down. Finally, Adam came to the mine, where he used to have a sleepover one night. Adam took out a small flashlight from the bag and slowly stepped inside. The first thing he faced was rotten. He looked around the mine. There were tons of animal bodies scattering. Adam thought they must have been those missing pets in the town that people had discussed earlier. Since that was a large mine, the more he stepped into the mine, the more complicated paths he saw. There were lots of doors around, and a door might lead to another place. At that moment, Adam was a little confused about what door he should take to find out Fen and the baby monster. In the middle of confusion, Adam felt that someone was walking toward him from behind. That was Fen. In her hands there was a knife. As Adam was looking around, she plunged to him and attacked Adam from the behind. But Adam had sensed her appearance. He could dodge instantly, and just in a blink of an eye, he promptly hit Fen so that she fell to the ground. Fen stood upright after then. She was not giving up on attacking Adam, but suddenly, she stopped there. She was likely to see something. There was a whisper from the dark as if someone was talking to her. She turned around and looked back. She wanted to see the one who was talking to her. Promptly, she stood up and ran towards the door next to where she fell down. A few moments later, she appeared there once again. That time, she pulled out a white furry dog that looked extremely scared. Fen was likely to talk to her son inside. She repeatedly told that her son to please wait for her. She would bring him something to eat. The dog got very scared. He was knelt down on his two front legs as if begging Fen to let him go, a pretty smart dog. But at that moment, Fen was blind already. She cold-heartedly raised her knife up. Seeing what happened to the poor dog, Adam just stood there and watched. He wanted to save that dog, but he froze and wanted to determine where was the baby demon. Didn't wait for Fen to end up the dog's life. Out of nowhere, there was a giant hand appeared from the wall. With the hand's size, Adam could guess the baby demon was reaching 3 meters height already. And all of a sudden, the giant hand grabbed Fen's head and dragged her inside. She was way too frightened to say a word. Adam was very surprised. He ran to the demon's place where the demon was hiding. He hoped he could save Fen in time. Once he stepped towards the door, in front of him was a very scary scene. After Fen painfully screams, one of her arms had been torn out of her body. Adam could not imagine and was surprised that the demon had turned to be that evil. He stopped by the door. At that moment, the dog had run away for his life. After a few frozen moments, Adam pulled himself together. He knew that the demon was way uneasy to deal with. He put his hands to his belonging and took out some pennies. He held them in his hands. Thanks to the dim lights in his hands, he followed the blood trace in the ground to find the demon. And so, he walked to the last room. At that moment, he could see the demon clearly. The demon was like a giant, much huger than the day Fen's sister had seen earlier. He held Fen's body tightly with his one hand, and the other hand was holding Fen's arm. Fen was passed out because of pains and blood loss. The demon was chewing his mother's arm. It looked terrible as hell. Seeing Adam, the demon dropped his mother down and plunged towards Adam. The demon got a giant body, but it didn't mean his speed is not good. Facing the aggressive demon, Adam still tried to keep his calm. Shortly, he shot one of the pennies in his hand toward the demon. That was one of his master methods which he had practiced carefully. His master had taught him that method would be a proper use in front of those kinds of demons because they had an amazing effect on those demons. Indeed, the penny worked. If using the penny to attack an average man, it would not be harmful, but practically with a demon, shortly, the demon's hand got a hole. The demon got hurt. He looked at the hand. From the day he gave birth, there was nothing able to touch him like that. Fortunately, the demon had dodged the next penny in time, or else the penny would fly to his head, and he is going to be dead meat. He changed his attacking method. He screamed aloud, then opened his mouth in front of Adam to scare Adam. He let Adam see his bloody tongue. Be injured, the demon turned to be angrier. He wide opened his mouth full of sharp teeth. He could see the demon got a weird tongue. It looked abnormal. The demon's tongue got longer and longer once it reached out of the demon's mouth. At the end of the tongue, Adam could see there was another mouth. It looked like an aggressive snake. It reached out to Adam speedily. The tongue was really flexible and fast. Adam was unable to attack it with his pennies. That was such a clever move of the demon. He could not come close to Adam, so that was a better way to take Adam down. Adam tried to use his pennies to attack, but the tongue was able to dodge them all. In just a few seconds, it came to in front of Adam, opened the mouth, and nearly swallowed Adam to the head. The tongue was very fast, but Adam was faster. He jumped aside and avoided the attacks of the tongue in a blink of an eye. As a result, the tongue had attacked the wall and made a loud sound. The tongue had been really strong. By the look at the damage it had made to the wall, we had to astonish with the demon powers. After seeing Adam was able to avoid the attack, the demon withdrew the tongue back. The tongue had bit and held a large area of the wall. When the demon withdrew the tongue, those concrete at the wall had been brought along as well. He swallowed the concrete into pieces just like a piece of cake. That was what Adam's master had told him about. The demon was able to swallow everything. At that moment, Adam was able to see how the demon had attacked him. He gave a confident smile. The pennies on his hand now were useless in front of the greedy demon. Adam changed his plan as well. He took out of the bag some of the talismans. He put one of them into his 2 fingers. The demon once again attacked Adam with his creepy tongue. Right now, the tongue plunged to Adam. Shortly, Adam launched those talismans in his hand toward the tongue. Promptly, the talisman came close to the mouth full of sharp teeth of the demon one by one, but he didn't have any panic. The demon thought how those pieces of paper were unable to harm him, so he didn't dodge it and tried to tear those talismans out. That was a big mistake of the demon. Those talismans were made by paper, but in front of the demon, they turned to a sharp knife. The tongue was shortly cut to pieces. Adam took out some more talisman from his bag and held on to his fingers. He thought that was the right time to end the gluttonous demon life. After being cut the tongue out, The demon was in pain and panic. He stepped back slowly and lost his anger. At that time, he wanted to stay away from Adam as far as possible. That was Adam's chance already. While the demon was in a panic, Adam shortly launched the talisman in his hands towards the demon repeatedly. Those talismans flew towards the demon and straight to the demon's head, chest, and legs as dozens of swords. After those talismans deeply plugged into the demon's body, Adam raised his hands up and made a seal. He shouted out a chant. Shortly there was a strong power appear, made the hair on his head all stood up. Those talismans had plugged into the demon had burnt up after Adam's incantation. The demon was extremely painful. He screamed like a beast before being killed. The whole demon's body was burnt up like a torch. He and his burning body ran towards Adam. The demon was unlikely to give up. He tried to continue attacking Adam. But at that moment, his body had been burnt down. He got weaker and weaker. Even he consecutively attacked Adam. He was unable to touch Adam an inch. Finally, he ran out of his power. The demon was unable to stand. The whole body had collapsed to the ground. His hands were still trying to reach Adam out. He didn't want to accept the fact that he lost. And then the demon's body started to be expanded. Adam knew that the demon's body would be exploded in no time. He needed to get out of the mine as quickly as he could. Before leaving, he picked up Fen along with him. He holds her in his hands. Right after out of the mine a few steps. As what he guessed, the demon's body had exploded. His flesh had splashed around the mine. Some of the flesh of the demon had scattered to Adam's body. Then Adam contacted Fen's sister and asked her to call an ambulance to bring her sister to the hospital. At that moment, Fen had lost a lot of blood. It would be dangerous to her if he didn't bring her to the hospital in time. And so, Fen's sister had called an ambulance. They brought her to the hospital in time, and she could get out of the woods, but she was way deeply injured, so she had felt in a coma. Afterward, Adam got back to the mine. He guessed that the white dog earlier must have been lost and unable to find the way out. Indeed, after a while searching around, Adam found the poor dog. The dog was very happy when seeing Adam. He took it back to the town shortly. The dog's owner was also very happy when seeing her dog. She gave Adam many thanks and brought the dog back home. Before heading home, the dog's owner had asked for Adam's social network account to keep in touch. She would ask him out when she faced any unusual things. After saying goodbye to the dog and the owner, Adam came to the hospital to check on Fen. Fen's sister was very happy to see him. She told him that everything was fine, her sister was recovering. She was way overexcited to announce her sister's situation, so that she hugged Adam. To be honest, that was the first time Adam had been hugged by a girl. He was frozen there a few moments and didn't know what to reply to her. Then the girl told him that she was very grateful for what Adam had done to help her sister. She admired Adam not to care about the dangers he might face to help the others. To ensure her and her sister's safety, Adam gave her a piece of talisman. He told her to put it at her sister's bed until she fully recovered. That would help her to avoid the demon came back and hurt her. The girl continued to thank Adam. She knew that he was new in the city. He was going to face many difficulties, so once there was anything, just called her. She promised that she would help him with his city life. And then, the two of them said goodbye. On the way out of the hospital, his phone had rung out. He picked up the phone and got surprised that the girl had transferred him some money. The girl was very thoughtful. She knew the fact that Adam was new in the city, so he must have no money. Plus, with Adam's personality, he would not receive cash if she gave him, so she transferred the money through the phone number. That was not a large amount of money, but enough for him to rent a house and pay for food at that moment. While he was walking in the hospital hallway towards the main gate, two people walked by him. One man and one woman. The man looked like in his middle age, and the woman was around 30s. There was something made Adam had to notice about them. Adam turned back to look at them carefully, but this time, he just saw they were as normal as the others. After a few moments later, Adam saw the woman's face turn to be scary, bloody, and full of wounds face. Adam knew that what he saw was about to happen shortly, so he came closer to them and spoke up to her that she was about to have a deadly incident soon. He told her to be careful in every move. The man next to her pushed him away. He also used heavy words to talk to Adam. Seeing the man was getting angry, Adam gave them his card visit and told them that he was a psychic. If they faced any problems, they could give him a call. The man even got angrier. He didn't take the card and tossed it to the ground. He even showered Adam with scolds. He talked loudly that Adam was a fraud. And so, without a word, Adam just gave them a light side then headed off. Regarding the woman, she a little noticed what Adam told her. Even the man next to her was really annoyed with Adam. But she bent down and picked up the card. Then she turned to look after Adam's shadow. She was likely to want to talk to Adam something. Finally, she walked after the men. Arriving home, the first thing he could think of was transferring money for the landlady. Then he walked straight to his room. He was way too tired after all. He got hungry, so he decided to have an instant noodle before going to bed. But all of a sudden, his phone rang. The one who called him was the woman he had seen in the hospital hallway. She told Adam she had experienced lots of strange events earlier. And she could sense what Adam had told her at the hospital was really happening to her. Adam told her to calm down first and slowly told him what she had experienced. And then, the woman started to tell him what she had faced earlier. She sensed that someone was tailing her and wanted to kill her. Regarding the woman, that was a very long story and hard to tell him through the phone. Hence, she invited Adam to come to the cafeteria near the hospital. She would tell him in detail.